Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bill on Bikes. We're in my facility, the Motorcycle Garage in Phoenix, Arizona. And what do we have going on today? 2006 Big Dog K9 chopper. We do a ton of choppers. I mean, just so many of them. Out of the, I think Big Dog produced around 20 to 25,000 total units. I swear half of them are here in Phoenix, Arizona. Work on so many big dogs, Big Bear, Arlen Ness, Swift, you name it, we work on it. A lot of Titans. Many of you might not know that I actually was a Titan dealer. Let me show you. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you something. This is the official Titan dealer manual, which I took when we sold the business. So we go through here. You can see this is what the base prices were at the time. Basically almost $29,000 base for a Gecko SX, which would be solid mount. The RM was the rubber mounted system. Roadrunner, Sidewinder RM, and the Coyote. I think the Coyote was pretty popular. And then you had all these accessories you could add and what the prices would be. There's the carries, the son and the dad. The dad was the money guy, and the son was the fool that kind of ran the company into the ground, unfortunately. By the time they went bankrupt, they owed us over $18,000 just in warranty work. The Titans were a pretty good motorcycle, good S&S engine. Out of all the motorcycle manufacturers that popped up, Big Dog was probably the best out of any of the other manufacturers. Their worst issue, the biggest issue that they had was the wiring. A K9 behind me, it's a wiring issue and what I'm going to have to go through to fix it. Titan actually probably the best wiring in the industry. They use Daytech frames for the most part, which were very good. These are just some of the different models in here. Some of the paint schemes you could get. So if you were a customer coming in, would go through this book, you could pick out your paint. You could have custom paint done. I had one guy who built a custom Titan, and we're talking mid-90s, and that bike was just about $60,000. So he went for everything, but he had multiple Harleys. I did have some issues with the Titans. I remember when I was first unloading them for the first truckload. We actually bought 2 truckloads worth, and they showed up on the Gold Rush truck. And here's some pictures of a much younger Bill unloading the bikes one day. I get the bikes in the building. It's the middle of summer. We're very busy, and as I'm doing the PDIs on them and getting them ready, start the bikes, a lot of them had oil pressure lights coming on. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Pull the feed line and not getting any oil into the oil pump. So pull the dipstick on the tank, plenty of oil in there. Took a screwdriver, put that down in the tank, pulled it out, and it was like a day at the beach. It was so bad. There was so much bead blasting material because obviously they hadn't plugged the ports when they did the bead blasting before paint. So I wasn't real happy with that. I had to change out a lot of pumps. I caught them early enough. I think tappets had to be changed, but no engine replacements if I remember right. Like I said, they owed us some $18,000 at the time they went bankrupt, but they owed the federal government, from what I heard, millions in back taxes. So fortunately, it was kind of a sad ending to a pretty good company. And then there was another guy, Proudfoot, I believe his name was. He took over. We didn't have anything to do with Titan at that point. We were done. But here's some of the powder coat chips. So if you were going to pick the color for your frame, as you can see, the Arizona heat is getting to my book here and melting this stuff. That's just kind of the way it goes out here. But that one custom bike I told you about was this really cool orange that he paid like $60,000 for. And let's see, more pricing, a lot of articles. I will say that the carries were really good about getting press. The Playboy cover, I mean, they had a lot going on. Easy Riders, they had articles all the time, which I always thought was pretty neat. Matter of fact, my connection kind of with Big Dog goes, so the show truck driver for Titan, I'll just kind of go through these pictures here real quick. So the show truck driver for Titan happened to be a guy by the name of John Nassy. You may know his brother Jim Nassy, Jim Nassy Customs. He's very well We're very well known in the United States, probably worldwide, as a custom bike builder. And John and I hit it off, became friendly. John ends up leaving Titan. He ends up being the head of dealer development for Big Dog. And he tried to get us to be dealers. He sent me all kinds of information, literature. Matter of fact, I was going through these the other day. I came across all these brochures, and I assume I had gotten these from John, but it's pretty cool to have all this stuff. See all this stuff here. I think I have all the years here. Some posters, which are pretty cool. Definitely be a poster. Let's hold that up. Should frame some of this stuff, huh? But it has all the models. Canine Ridgeback, Chopper, Pitbull, Mastiff. You know, Bourget tried to get us to take his bikes on. We didn't want to deal with that either, just more brochures. Anyway, that's the one reason we did not become a Big Dog dealer, but I did get to do some pretty cool things with Big Dog. I do work on a bunch of them, as we said. I have all the service manuals. These are actually still available. Here's the one I'm in the most, the later one. My Big Dog University book, Big Dog Operations Manual, which is pretty cool. I'm sure a lot of guys like to get their hands on this, even alignment stuff. It's funny though, as you go through this book, and I haven't looked at it in a while, there's a lot of Harley references, you know, you see the Harley bar and shield in through here. So anyway, let's talk about this bike for a minute, what's going on. Obviously, electrical issues. And prior to 2003, Big Dog was using the Thunderheart system for their electrical. After 03, they went to their own system with the electronic harness controller, nothing but problems. There were times I could just push on what's called the potting material on the back. It was so soft, I could get the bike to turn on and off, start. It was a nightmare. The biggest issue that plagues the Big Dogs. Around 03 or so, they also went to a 40 amp charging system. The Harley systems were 38, and then the early ones were 32. The early Big Dogs were 32 because they were just basically a Harley look-alike. They weren't really into the choppers yet till early 2000s. And that's when they really started to come into their own, made a lot of their own parts. That's what made Big Dog unique. These other bikes were basically catalog bikes. You could build them in your garage. I built many myself. You just get a frame and you could put the bike together. But the Big Dog's pretty unique, but because of all the electronic harness controller issues, there was a need for other electrical systems that could probably try to fix the problem. So one of those was this company that's called Wire Plus. Now Wire Plus has also gone out of business. I heard it was a divorce thing. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But anyway, the Wire Plus is pretty good, but the problem is if you do have an issue and you can't get the parts because they're out of business. So what do we do now? Well, there is a new component out of Germany, which I am going to use. The parts are on order. But the problem is, and this is what's plaguing a lot of the Wire Plus units, these bikes are a 40 amp system. The average Harley guy on the street, oh, I'm going to put a 38 amp system in, it's going to be fine. Well, it doesn't really work that way. And the 40 amp system, you got to remember, the original Big Dog system, 03 and later, this wiring was designed by aircraft engineers. They had actually, Big Dog had hired aircraft engineers to do the electrical work. This is all aircraft quality wiring up here in the loom. It's phenomenal stuff with the little JST connectors. I don't love the JSTs, they're just hard to work with. They're very small. But anyway, the 40 amp system, and they also built about a 10% buffer in there, so it would actually overcharge. So instead of 40 amps, you could be getting 44. And every time it overcharges a little bit, it tends to affect the electronic harness controller and the connections, or even the updated electrical, like the Wire Plus system, would be affected, and it starts to burn the system out, and that's what happens. So I'm in contact with another guy in California, does a lot of Big Dog systems, very knowledgeable. He's the one that told me about this new unit for Germany. It's on the way. We are going to upgrade the charging system, because if I run the 40 amp, they say within 6 months to a year, it's going to eat up the module. That's what's eating up these modules for the most part. Sometimes it's just wiring issues. There's a lot going on here. The original electronic harness controller had 2 connectors coming off it. Well, to put in the Wire Plus system, you have to cut it, and then you put in the Deutsch style Harley connectors. Here's the power module, and here's the switch module. In this case, It's the switch module that's gone bad. I've already tested all the wires. And we're going to run 2 different breakers on this too. We're going to run a 20 and a 40 with a bus bar. And when I go to do all that work, I'm going to show you what is involved in that. It's labor intense. It's going to be expensive. This client wants his bike. He doesn't want to have a boat anchor that he can't ride. So we will fix it up. We do a lot of wiring here. So we'll do a nice, neat job. Now this new controller, it's new for me also. So we're going to have to figure out, I'm sure there's going to be little tricks, or I might have some issues, but we'll figure it out. And you'll be along with me. And that's about it for now. This bike's going to have to come off the bench. The parts won't be here for 2 to 3 weeks. I got a lot of other work going on here in the shop. Matter of fact, a Harley charging issue, which is going to be on another video. So we're going to start taping that right after we finish this one. So my hair might be a little longer or shorter if I get a haircut. I don't know. We'll see. I'll be wearing different clothes, I'm sure. But I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, please. And if you have any questions, just send them over. Also, I want to point this out real quick. If any of you guys out there need any of the Wire Plus original books, like this one here for the WP192, or the one that's specifically on this bike, I have them. I will send me an email. I'll copy it. I'll send it to you. I even have some of my notes in here. I guess these have been hard to get, but I'll gladly email it to you if you need it. Okay, guys, we'll see you next time.